welcome to something a little bit different today. There's no racing because the F1s are on, and it's the one day of the week where I get to watch a full race before I go to work. If I put a race in, then I only get to watch half, and then they give it all away on the news. So just wanted to do something a bit different, show you my setup. I've done a lot of work in the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to split it up into two videos. This one will be just a summary of all the parts and all the hard work that we've put in, and the other one will be like a build vlog. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and thanks to everyone who subscribed lately. Really appreciate it. Just if you haven't yet, click on that subscribe button down below and maybe turn the notifications off, because I put a video up every day and I don't want to hassle you. But let's have a look at what we've got. So this room has always been Kathy's clinic. She practices Chinese medicine. I used to have my own sim room, one of the bedrooms, but we had another kid and I got booted out. So we had to come up with a compromise. These bookshelves were always here as a backing, and on the other side we just had junk. So we decided, why don't we slide the bookshelves over, and instead of junk, we can have this. I love this setup. It is very cool, and every day that I sit there, I come up with new ideas of what we can do. So I'll start off just showing you this bookshelf, which was my first kind of showpiece. The LED strips aren't quite working at the moment. Got me boxes up there. Up there to the left, there's a whole bunch of Street Machine magazines which go back to the early 80s. I think there's a couple from the late 70s. The hats, that's what you guys see in the video. Whole bunch of Top Gear, and there's about 16 years worth of motor magazines. I love Motor Mag. I've got a wealth of car knowledge out of that. This printer, I actually won this printer. Had a smaller one, but we did a competition and we won it. It was cool. Massive it is. It is massive. It's heavy, and yeah, it does pretty much everything we want. So we'll start off with the computer. It's the NZXT. I think it's the H440, but the Razor edition. And ever since I got this box, I didn't really know much about Razor, but it's kind of been an ongoing theme since I got the box, and it is nothing like when I first bought it. So pull the cover off because it's less reflection. I've just put a Kraken X52 on there. My old cooler lasted, it's about 5 years old, this system. It didn't last very, I was getting up to 99 degrees on the CPU. It was not good at all. So yeah, got to learn how to change all that over and make it all pretty good. Updated to 16 gig of RAM. Now, for what I do every day on streaming and recording and racing and everything like that, this computer, I think, punches above its weight. It's only an i7 4790 non-K. There's 16 gig of RAM, DDR3. I had a GTX 980, but on my old simulator I was racing at 4K and it just couldn't hold up, so that's why I've got this. It's a GTX 1080 Extreme Gaming. This is the model that came out just before they branded it Aorus. So I wish they'd stayed with Extreme Gaming, because yeah, they just had really cool branding. I think it's much better than the Aorus that they do now. I've got my, I think it's called Skull Canyon 500 gig hard drive. It's always been my C drive, but when I upgraded my computer earlier in the year, I put an M.2 drive, and because of the age of the motherboard, M.2 was brand new, so it doesn't have a dedicated M.2 lane. It's more of a compromise, so it uses 2 SATA slots, so you don't get your 2,500 meg per second. It's about 800, which is still pretty good. It's kind of there so that if I do ever upgrade my computer properly, motherboard, CPU and everything, then yeah, I'm going to have a super fast C drive. And I've got a whole bunch of storage drives in there. There's one up there, I think that's the 4 terabyte, and I've got a 6 terabyte WD red and a 1.5 terabyte underneath. So yeah, that's the computer. The screens, I've got three 32-inch curved AOC 144 hertz 1080p monitors. I didn't want to go the 144 hertz because it just pushes my graphics card a little bit harder. So you want good, but you don't want to, if you push your computer too hard, then it just freaks out. And it doesn't matter how good your computer is, you got to count how many pixels and all that sort of stuff and work out budget wise how you want to do it. So I thought I'd put some images up of the evolution of my simulator. So when I first moved into this house, it was just the frame. And look at that little frame. That's how I bought my frame. Little bucket seat that came with it. That snapped every time you leant back underneath. The bolts would snap out of the chair. My old computer's there. Just another old bookshelf with a crappy standard HD TV. So enough to say that I didn't last in that room too long, because in the lounge room we had a full HD TV. This is 10 years ago, so I was like, wow, you know, let's get stuck into this. That might be Project Cars 1. So I was in the lounge room for quite a long time, a couple of years actually, and whenever we had visitors, I'd just push the simulator across. I'd put a racing chair on there, not racing, it's more of, just got it from Autobarn, $150, better than what I had. And I went out and went to the Wreckers, got a VX center console, more for the cup holders. Where the coffee table was on that, I had to really reach around to grab a drink, and yeah, so it's more of a cup holder, but it turned out to be a very good mouse pad as well. So that's my mouse pad. And then I went back to the bedroom, but while we were here, Pete was growing up. Once he got crawling, he was about 7 months old, he was obsessed with cables, and all those cables down there, he loved them. So we had to do something, and that's when I made the black box under the frame, and everything was concealed in there. Everything for my, I had surround sound before, headphones, which were right up against my ears. I know that's not about this simulator, but this is the evolution. And yeah, my computer was up on a shelf. I had better cable management. After that, I put more piping that went right up to the computer. But yeah, the PVC plumbing pipe goes all the way down. And yeah, I'll put a link up above. There's a full tour of my simulator. But I had my 2 pedals back then. They failed, the Thrustmaster pedals, which came with the TX. And I put a 3 pedal setup, and that's when we had Ayla. I got put into this room, and this is how it was up until 2 weeks ago. I pretty much bought the 3 screens and the frame and just basically plugged it in, and off and away I went. But you can see the shelves and all that, the brown on the back. It was just, every time I sat in to have a race, I'd look around and go, geez, I've got so much to do here. So yeah, it needed a bit of dressing up, and that's what we've been working on for the last couple of weeks, and that's the main reason why I'm doing this video. So that shelving has been fully remodified. I had to modify the shelves because if you see here on the old picture where that middle shelf was a rigid part of the shelving, and I needed to either cut it or remove it, and decided let's just get rid of it. So that middle shelf is gone now, which meant I can drop my screens all the way to where they're supposed to be. Now it's fully aligned. I had 15 months of terrible alignment. Like, look how crooked that is. As time goes on, you just learn more and more about sim racing. and that was very important, the screen position. So I went and bought white backing for all the shelves and put that in, bought some LED strips, and cable management is my bitch. Last couple of weeks have been spent pumping the cable management. So the idea was to have a setup where you can't see any cables. It looks all, I don't know, professionally done in a way. Not that I'm a professional, but yeah, just concealing everything and things that I've learned watching people build computers and just do stuff. YouTube's awesome for that sort of stuff. And yeah, this is my holy trinity, plus the F333, of course, from Forza 1 fame. So we always wanted everyone wants a Ferrari. I've got my own dealership now. So yeah, we'll move to what drives the car. I've got the Thrustmaster TX with the F1 wheel. That's a fantastic wheel. Those coloured knobs in the middle don't work, but all the buttons and switches around it do. And while you're driving, it's like a keyboard. It is fantastic. I love that wheel. The pedal wise, I've now got Fanatec, what are the Fanatec Club Sport pedals, the V3, V2, whatever it is. They were happily donated by one of my subscribers, the real Betty Mac. He, yeah, it was awesome. Can't believe it. He just messaged me and said, hey, you want these? I'm like, oh man, just as my other pedals were failing. So I've still got the speakers down there, but they're not plugged in. It's just there for looks at the moment. But what I found was the frame itself was flexing way too much, especially with the weight of the wheel. So I created just a wooden frame to hold the wheel, which allowed me, like the flex in the frame was acting as a damper. And as soon as I put it on this mount, I got so much more information out of the wheel. The frame I had was not designed for this stuff. And then I found that there was even more flex now using a load cell pedal. So I've actually had to modify under the frame, which I'll show you in a sec when I show you the back. Got the TH8A gear shifter, which is just amazing. Like the punishment this thing has had. Peter, he pretty much stands on it. He throws pens in there and just the thing just keeps going. It never misses a beat. It's awesome. I've got the Razer headphones. These are the 7.1 V2 headphones, not the Pro. I watched a review on headphones, and this one actually, the reason I got these, apart from the logo, was because they reckon that is one of the best microphones in the business, and I'm pretty happy with it. I haven't had to buy an external microphone or anything like that. It's been, yeah, awesome. Also got the Stream Deck where I do everything. Alright, go get yourself a Stream Deck, guys, even if it's a basic one. I do all of my recording and scene jumping, but you know, functions within iRacing, opening up all different programs. You can do whatever you want. This button here will open up all of my programs that I run in the background. So when I turn the computer on, I push one button and it opens up about 12 programs to get everything going. It's go and get yourself a Stream Deck. Just sitting on a little table, which I think I'm going to paint black. Excuse me. And also we've got Pete's chair. Comes in, watches the iPad, watches Daddy race. He loves this room. And yeah, also got a room, part of the room for, he draws pictures and stuff, so they usually go up on the wall. So we'll go to the back and yeah, we'll show you the all the actual hard work that I've done. Before we do, being cable managed, you've got a whole heap of cables there, and on the other side, nothing. So what I've done, which I was pretty proud of myself when I come up with this idea, I've just got one of the offcuts. You see the depth difference, one of the offcuts, and put a metal bracket down here and magnets. So there's just not enough room with the screen right into the shelf that if I need to do anything, I just grab it down, play with my cables, and then I can pull it back up. I'll show you the back of the setup, and there's been quite a bit of hard work, so we'll go to that now. So next up is everything we've done at the back. So I've got a new obsession with cable ties. Cable ties everywhere, but essentially there's no more drooping cables under the screen. Everything's fed through the frame, which we now have modified. Go and adjust your monitor if you haven't already. If you did what I did, or just plug and play, playing with these settings where you need an extra pair of hands of leveling everything out with a level, yep, made a massive difference. So yeah, I got cables. So many cables come with computers, and it's all very discreet now. So it's all just fed along. I've just made, I don't know if you noticed the last couple of weeks, my new foot cam was looking down and this bar was in the way. It was actually right in the middle of the picture. So that's when the camera was there, and now I've made a bracket to bring it out a little bit, and now you get to see the foot cam with nothing in the way. So all the cables, they just keep adding and adding and adding, and by the time you get to this point, there's just so many cables, and it just spews out. And this is kind of the junction point. They either go in. I've made lots of holes in the shelves. Either go down there, in there, or up there, or even up to the top to where my modem is. I've put it as high as I can to get better range through the house. It's made a big difference. And I've actually had to cut the shelving and everything for this bracket to hold the monitor. And lots more cables. And going down to the wall, I've got these clips which would be great if they stuck to the wall. I think a bit of araldite will do a better job than double-sided tape. And so yeah, everything just goes to the back there. There's the metal bracket, which I just put electrical tape around. And yeah, this panel just covers it all up so that when I get mates come over for a beer or whatever and want to have a race, then yeah, this whole room becomes like a showpiece. And so these two cars here, Dad got at work years and years and years ago. I just thought I'd put them up there. You can't really see this part of the shelf, but yeah, this one you can. So what I want to do is get a couple of Brocky's cars. I don't know if you notice, I'm a bit of a Peter Brock fan. And yeah, so now we've got a bit of a showpiece for the room. I'm wrapped. Overall, it's come up well. And yeah, I'd love to say I was finished, but coming up is, you would have noticed there was a lot of echo at the start of the video. Probably still a bit of echo now. We're going to put soundproof foam everywhere, so these pictures will probably go. And we're going to put some curtains in between from the shelves to the opposite wall, and try and onto the roof as well, and just try and muffle as much noise as we can. So as far as modifications that I've done to the frame, when I was pushing on the pedal here, the flex on the frame, it was going down about an inch when I was using the full force getting into the game. And so yeah, the sim went outside. Be sure to check my other video. I'm going to do like a build vlog of everything I did. So this video seems to be stretching out. So this bracket that I made here is basically 3 upright bits of wood with the frame sitting on it. So it's actually got nowhere to go. And while I was there, I actually changed the spring on the accelerator. I didn't know. When Benny gave me the pedals, he gave me a whole bag of parts, and I got a feeling the grommets for the spring were in there, but when I had everything pulled apart is when I realized that I'd lost those grommets. So I've actually just put 2 washers at either end, and it does the job just fine. And the pedal's a little bit firmer. I was hoping it would help with modulation, but I guess it does a little bit. You don't realise how strong your legs are until you do stuff like accelerate and brake and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, we'll go on to the box now. The box, the only thing coming out of the box in this is this umbilical, which is basically 2 USB 3 cables extended 3 meter all the way to the computer, and then a power cable. But inside, if I can climb under, all the cables are cable managed. Everything's hidden away. You know, chargers, wheel, so many cables. And also, if you lift this lid up, I've got 2 speakers down there. They're just basic Logitech speakers. When I did clean racing back in the day, they were my communication speakers. But yeah, inside here we've got another power board, and there's 2 USB hubs, and yeah, just basically put stuff in there so that I can hot swap. I do have a few issues with USB, which I think is due to the age of the computer, but it's all discreet, and all I have to do is flip this down and you can't see a thing. Awesome. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. If you got this far, yeah, this is sim racing is a big passion of mine, and what comes with that is all the components that are involved with sim racing. It's not just a keyboard and mouse. You really have to think about what is comfortable for you, what you can do with your budget, and what you can do with your imagination. So this is all stuff that I've come up with basically by myself, and very, very happy with how it's all turned out. So yeah, a lot of this stuff was just bought at the hardware store. Lots of this stuff, that whole box, you know, you can't buy that. I made that box all out of just bits of wood. I'm not crafty at all with my hands. It's determination, and it's like, shit, I got to do something so I can keep this whole sim racing thing going. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. Within the next week or so, I'm going to do another video, which I've been doing like a build vlog as I updated the room, and you can see piece by piece as the room came together, all the challenges that I faced, and also all the little tiny jobs that I did. And yeah, but first I have to learn how to edit videos, so that's what this video is about. So have a great day, guys. We'll see you on track soon. Bye.